This is the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid, and it's a very special car because it's one of the best family hybrid SUV you can buy today in the market, which is a perfect balance of power, efficiency and luxury inside. This car actually has the same powertrain of the Toyota RAV4, which is one of the best selling cars in North America. Hey, I mean, this is a very crowded space, mind you. A compact SUV which happens to be hybrid, but the cars of RAV4, the CRVs, the Ford Escape, or even Korean Brothers, Tucson and Sportage, all cars are really good in this market. But what this car has done and opened up this market is because this car offers you the perfect harmony of sporty handling, great looks, very different and unique in its own way, Mazda's fit and finish quality and premium interior inside, and you get a Toyota's proven 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine and gives you 17 kilometers per liter mileage. So let's find out more and get into details why this car, I believe, is still the best buck for your money. And hey, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe my channel so that I can bring you more such car reviews and help you decide which is the best car you should buy. Alright, so the million-dollar question, what is under this hood? Is this the same car as RAV4 from Toyota? Let's find out. First and foremost, voila, you see a hydraulic hood which itself suggests that this car has some premiumness in it. Now let's talk about the engine right here. This is basically exactly the same RAV4 powertrain right here. I wonder how Mazda pulled it off by putting this engine in this chassis, by making sure that everything is right exactly the way it is supposed to be. Even the air filter or the coolant, the hybrid battery system and those functional air vents and everything else, if you pull this off, it's basically the same Toyota engine. But hey, this car produces 219 horsepower, no pound-feet torque figures we have, but 17 kilometers per liter of mileage. It has 0 to 60 or 0 to 100, I would say, in 7 seconds roughly. It has a towing capacity of 1500 pounds, which is less, I would say, slightly than RAV4. This car weighs 4,000 pounds, obviously that would be one of the reasons, I believe. And this car also rides on regular fuel as well as premium fuel. So if you are using regular fuel, you will get 220 horsepower. If you are using a premium fuel, 93 octane, then you will get 250 horsepower. So that's about it, guys. There is nothing much to speak about. So, alright, so let's get into the exterior design of the CX-50. It is very similar to the CX-50 gas model, but we'll try to see where we can identify and differentiate this particular model as a hybrid model. Right in the front, this is the GT line model. So obviously you see all the bells and whistles. One of the key things I like is this prominent, beautiful, big Mazda grille with a chain kind of look. Another thing I loved about this car is this unique slim headlights and these daytime running lights, which are like half ring. You also have a very interesting design choice where you see there is a big platform where you can put some coffee or anything what you want. Even this grille, which I believe is not functional, but it kind of, serves the purpose in terms of look. The front fascia and the rear bumper is where you will see a slight difference than the ongoing gas model. Is this particular area is quite chunky and big because they had to redesign the platform to accommodate this hybrid powertrain. And also one thing which I missed out is how this car looks in nighttime in terms of the LED lights. Again, really nice. These are basically turn signals, not fog lights. Now let's get into the side of it. In fact, the hood is also really prominent. The slick lines which takes this car into front to back, and we'll also see the D pillar which is unique The side cuts are also kind of off-road friendly plastic claddings over here. It comes with R18 and R19 tires. This is a standard R18 tires. Again, it is 225 by 50. And you were asking me, how do I identify the hybrid CX-50? Well, this is how you do it. There is one badging on each side of the car which says hybrid. Very simple, nothing fancy about it. On the sides you have this beautiful black chromed or black style side mirrors with integrated turn signals. These are also power folding, which is nice. Over to the sides, ground clearance is 8.1 inches, so the in and out hopping into the car is very easy and simple. Again, you see no chrome finishes and there is chrome delete. There is only a subtle chrome touch over here. The blacked out roof rails are also going really well with this machine gray metallic color, what they call it, this one. It really is a unique color. It shines from different angle. One of the best part of this car which I like is this particular hump. What you see it right from this angle, you will see that this hump is very prominent. It gives you a wide stance and it just cuts into the rear of the car. Again, you will see a very typical, very slim rear tail lights, typical Mazda design. All right, so I was talking about the rear tail lights, very classic Mazda touch here. You see the turn signals, they blink like a heartbeat or fade in, fade out. Very different than the standard turn signals which you are used to seeing it. Again, CX-50 all-wheel drive, which is all-wheel drive. That's a good addition as well. Even if it is hybrid, it is still all-wheel drive. This is the second place where you will see this car is hybrid because of the hybrid badging. Other than that, the car looks very typical standard Mazda CX-50. Another blacked out rear bumper. You have got two exhaust systems being hybrid, which is also great. On the sides, you again have the fake vent system which mimics the front, but I would say if it would have been functional, that would have been great. On the side, if I may say, I wish they could have increased this spoiler a bit longer. That would complete the rear look and give it a really nice stance. But that's pretty much it, right? Let's talk about the cargo space here. One of the reasons why you see a deep, long trunk space is this car is really wide. This is roughly around 186 inches long, and hence you have roughly 30 cubic feet of space behind the second row. And when you flat the second row, which if I can from this levers over here, as you see, now it translates into 56 cubic feet of space, which is class leading in this segment. Again, this really helps you put golf bags and a lot of longer items pretty easily. Now, you must be wondering, where is the battery for this hybrid system? The batteries are right below the second row seats, and that's why you see the floor is not completely flat because it's slightly raised. Now, they have still made a good choice because you still have a perfectly working spare tire, which also is nice to have. In spite of having a hybrid powertrain, you have got small cubby space right over here, some hook system over to my right. Again, you have some space for storage. Now, this car also comes with premium Bose system, which is 12 speakers. So I believe they have hidden some woofer somewhere in the front. You also have trunk lights, which are LEDs, white in color, so which adds to the premiumness of it. Now, let's talk about the interior design of this car and understand how different it is. Alright friends, so let's talk about the interior of this Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. Over to the car key first. The car key is typical Mazda key, again same as the CX-50 gas model. You have buttons on the side, which is a very unique placement. Over to the driver side door panel, and you see that this really talks about premiumness. The soft touch plastic over here, leather with red stitching, soft padded here as well. You have got one touch up and down switches for all four windows. You have got power folding mirrors and also decent cup holders. I would say it is slightly on a slimmer side. Memory seat functions over here, traction control, fuel gauge opener and everything else. But one thing is noticeable is this premium seats. Again, 8 to 10 way adjustable seats, electronically adjustable, perforated with red stitching. We will talk about from the passenger side. Very comfy. I wonder if it could have been slightly more softer like RAV4 or any other car. Otherwise, this seat is perfect balance. Now let's talk about the dashboard itself from this angle. The steering wheel is really bigger insides, I would say, comparatively, but it is very well bolstered. You've got good handy switches and Mazda logo. Driver's dashboard is very simple and elegant. You've got 7-inch digital screen here and analog on the sides. The digital display is configurable actually right here. As you see, I can change the way it looks. The start stop button is right over here. The air vents are quite big and simple. I love the way it is finished with this chrome touch. Center infotainment system is again big, roughly 10.25 inches, I would say. This is not a touch screen. That's one thing which I always keep saying Mazda, that why don't you just come up with a touch screen which is standard with all the cars in the modern era now. They do give you touchscreen if you connect with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and that only works if you are driving. That's one thing to keep in mind. But other than that, as you see the dashboard, it is very soft, high touch, soft plastic. This one single line which has air vents, which is kind of in a hidden way. I love the way this is stitched in red with this leather finish. You still have a very bright and classic rear view camera where it is very clear and decent for your parking abilities. The HUX system is very neatly designed, compact, small size. You have got heated steering wheel, heated seats, buttons over here. No ventilated seats, I believe. That's a big zonk which they can certainly add at this price point of roughly 48 for $50,000. Dual zone climate control, so nothing fancy. You've got small cubby space over here. You've got decent sized cup holders, and over here is where is the only place you will find shiny black plastic. This is the place where they could have gone with a different material to give this an elevated look. The drive mode switches, the drive selector is very standard. Parking brakes, auto hold. This is the joystick or typical BMW roller which you use it for managing your infotainment system. As you see, it's very easy and simple to navigate. You also have typical music control switches, and this has got Bose sound system. It sounds really nice. I would say not the best, but does the job. And another cool thing is it also has an EV only button, which means that you can drive this car on completely EV mode. This car does come with 1.59 kilowatt hour battery with interesting positioning of wireless charging pad right here. It's very slim. The center console, as you see, is not too deep or big enough, but it does have two USB-Cs, which is nice, and it opens up in dual mode in the grain style genuine leather. It's really soft and looks way more luxurious. So I was talking about the seats and how premium they are. Look at them. This is in a reddish color. It comes in black and some brown shade as well, but the stitching, the piping, the perforated style, the softness, this could have been more softer, I mentioned before. Let's talk about this in the back seat. Alright, so now I'm in the back seat of CX-50 Hybrid. The seats are actually slightly higher from the floor because the battery resides under it, but it doesn't compromise the overall legroom or the headroom. The legroom is roughly around 38 inches. Headroom, as you see, is ample enough. Plus this panoramic sunroof also adds to the value of bringing light. As you see, the driver's seat has this cutout which also adds to an additional healthy space, which is nice. On the passenger side, you have this pockets which you can use it for the storage, but the same quality of seats continues right here in the back as well. Those pipings, those stitching, those perforated materials. So this has heated seats as well, not the center one though. Another welcome thing is you see the air vents right here and also two USB-Cs. Can't complain, right? So let's see what do we have in the center console. You have typical armrest with two cup holders, no pass through as well in this car, which I believe only Volkswagen does a great job. Overall, the headliner is not blackout, but it still does a great job. I think this is the best place to be when it's on a long road trip as well as city driving. One more thing I would like to mention about this CX-50 is look at how wide the door opens. It's almost 90 degrees, and that makes it so easy for you to hop in and hop out of the second row seats or even the front row seats. That's really excellent design. Okay, so I'm on the driving seat of the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. Let's get into more detail about the driving dynamics of this car and understand whether this car is worth buying over the tried and tested Toyota RAV4 or even Honda CR-V. All of them are compact SUVs with hybrid powertrain, and new in the lineup is the CX-50 Hybrid. It pretty much borrows the same powertrain from the Toyota RAV4 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine, which produces 220 horsepower, and they do not share the torque figures, so I don't have that numbers for you guys. What I know is this car does give you roughly around 17 kilometers per liter mileage, which is really handy for the size of this car, which is roughly 4,000 pounds. The car starts with roughly around $42,000 for the base model, and it goes all the way up to $49,000 for the top of the line. These are all MSRP prices, mind you. Having said that, you still get everything what you have already seen in the gas powered car. It will be very hard for you to differentiate the hybrid car from the interior perspective. The fit and finish, the dashboard, the visibility, everything is pretty much the same. The steering wheel is a classic steering wheel. This car pretty much looks like a BMW if I hide the logo, isn't it? That's how great the craftsmanship and the overall fit and finish quality is. Now, in terms of driving, the windshield is comparatively smaller than other rivals like RAV4 or CRV, but still the visibility is quite wide and clean. The A-pillar is slightly wider and bigger, but the good thing is the way they have designed this, the rear view mirrors are slightly in the backward, so you have got enough space in between for any blind spot. Another thing I can immediately feel is the ride quality is very subtle, and I would say slightly on a stiffer side. Typical, BMW DNA, I would say, because I used to own a BMW myself. Now complete stop, and when I put the power on the gas, as you see, this particular engine revs really high and brings lot of noise inside the cabin. And this is a very familiar territory in the RAV4 because it's the same powertrain which we have borrowed from Toyota. So you feel that engine rumbling noise. But the good thing is the power is ample. The power which I got immediately, which took me from 0 to 100, basically this car takes only roughly around 7.3 seconds. Not bad numbers, right? Having said that, the overall fun to drive element of this car is what is die for. Like, as you see, I'm going to take it into this particular business building, and as soon as I turn, I feel that confidence when I'm turning and nibbling it in a zippy situation in this parking lot. Car does come with different car modes, which we'll talk about once we come out of this parking lot. Very easy and fun to drive. It is slightly on a heavier side, the steering. This is, mind you, on a normal mode, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, this is on the normal mode now. Actually, I was driving in a sports setting, which really takes the sportiness out of it now. So the normal mode, I can feel that the suspension setting is softer, which is, I would say, a good daily drive mode in this context. Let's take a right turn. The braking, as we just brake, is very confident, very soft pedal feel, not harsh. If I'm riding on a normal mode right now, I can literally feel the bumps are being taken care very well. Sound isolation in the cabin should have been a little better. Again, it's one of the reason why this is like this, because of the borrowed powertrain from the RAV4. Now I'm going to just take a U-turn completely to see the overall turning radius of this car, which I believe is really nice. Now, as you see, I was able to take a complete turn in the same road, which suggests that the driving radius is really great. So it is really helpful in the city driving conditions. The hybrid car powertrain is really unique in this car, similar to RAV4. It has got 3 electric motors. When you're driving on a slower speed, roughly around 40 kilometers per hour or something, the car completely rides on EV power, as you see the green symbol right here. I'm not sure the camera can pick it up, but that's how the car is calibrated. The modes of driving is what we will switch into. Now you see the modes right here. Sports mode now. There is power, normal, and trail. 3 modes in this car. Trail is typically off-roading because obviously this is a CX-50. It has got off-roading cladding, so it can be used for off-road as well. But let's put it into power, which is typically a sports mode in normal circumstances, and see how it does. We are at a stop sign, right, and we will see how it takes up right from the stop sign. Now that is really satisfying. I wish that they could use more sound damping material in the hood as well as the overall side windows to compensate the noise which the engine brings. But apart from that, this particular car also has a windshield which is acoustic glass, so that also helps you reduce the sound. As far as I concerned, this car is a perfect marriage or balance of power, efficiency, luxury, and fun to drive element, and that's what you need. Should I buy this over RAV4 or CRV or even Ford Escape or any other hybrid cars in the compact segment available in the market? I would certainly say yes. I mean, just because the way the car is configured, it is really the balance of the best of the Toyota's world and the Mazda's world. The collaboration, the partnership they have been into this car really strikes the best of both worlds. Looks are subjective. If you are a Mazda fan, you would certainly love this. I personally prefer this particular look compared to the RAV4 or the CRV. I mean, those two cars look very traditional and simple. This is something unique. This is wider, lower, and it gives you that very unique stance, especially with this off-road cladding. Yeah, I mean, apparently, look, I feel this is one of the best products in the market right now when it comes to compact SUV, family SUV, I would say. And this car strikes the balance in all different departments. I would certainly go ahead and buy this car given a choice. All right, so it's time for the final thoughts, guys. Should you shortlist, consider, or go ahead and buy this Mazda CX-50 Hybrid? In my opinion, you should certainly go ahead and buy this car, as most of the car reviewers out there have already told about. This car is the perfect balance of power, efficiency, good looks, premium interiors, and a great mileage as well. And I don't see any flaw at all in this car except that engine from RAV4, or should I say Toyota, which is little grumbly and noisy. Aside that, this car pretty much shines in all the departments. Having said that, if you are a Mazda fan, you also know that it comes with its reliability, fit and finish, and the market value which it holds. If you feel that what else do you have in the market to consider, I would still stick with Toyota's RAV4, which is the best car of the year, or for a couple of years now, or even Honda CRV. The hybrid system from Honda is really different than this one. It has two motors, this one has three electric motors, and that hybrid system from Honda is much more quieter than this particular engine. So if you feel that, well, that one thing is annoying me, and if you want to go with something which is roughly similar but bigger, and resale value wise, Honda we all know about. All of them, mind you, are Japanese manufacturers, so you can't go wrong in choosing any one of them, right? So that's one area which CRV can sign, or even Korean brothers, which are doing really well because their cars are really smooth in riding and even silent inside as well. But when it comes to all the merits in terms of how this car is overall, this still has edge out of all other competitors, and that would be my final thought here. So that's all from my side, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you all in the next one.